We have a lot of experience in trying to develop at the ICAC. We don't only investigate corruption and money laundering, we do a lot of education work. We also do a lot of prevention work, code of ethics, code of conduct. We look at your system, which is called systems enhancement, and we can work with you and try and plug the loopholes. So our mandate at the ICAC is basically three-pronged: investigation, prosecution, education, and prevention. That's one. So it's a very important project, and we're glad that we'll be participating in it. Second, I think I've talked about the importance of trying to give more, to place more emphasis on corruption. Because you will believe me, and I speak on the correction of you, the guys staying here, the experts. If we had not gone through all those investigations last year during the course of the pandemic, your report and your assessment might not have gone noticed. It might have gone unnoticed. Take my word for it. Right? And you can confirm. Okay? So it's important that we give the kind of attention that is required to that particular aspect, which is corruption. The next second issue I want to mention is that it's important to, this is very important, it is important to have laws and institutions. It's very important. Over the years, we have international obligations as well, but at the same time, we disperse a lot of money. I think in Mark's report itself, it is indicated that government across the world spend around, please correct me, 9.3 trillion US dollars in the provision of supplies, or acquisition of supplies, correct? 9.3 trillion US dollars. That's not a small amount of money. It's huge. I don't know how much it is in terms of the Mauritian budget. I'm sure it's a lot. Okay? So it's important to have laws and institutions. Second point that I want to insist upon. But laws and institutions, agree, need to be reviewed. But no, laws and institutions in themselves are not enough. They are not enough. You need to be able to show that your laws and your institutions are working, and they are working effectively. The name of the game in international compliance in recent times have been effectiveness. Right? And we got a resolution adopted at the United Nations COSP, Conference of State Parties in 2019 in Abu Dhabi, on integrating the concept of effectiveness in the United Nations anti-corruption strategy. Because what's the point of having laws and institutions and it's not working? Or if it is working, it's not effective. So that's my second point. You will carry on building laws, institutions, adopting laws, and so on and so forth. It's high time for us to sit down and take a look at whether they are working effectively. And if they do, make no mistake, we are not going to be able to rid ourselves of corruption 100%, but we can improve the system. Third, Mr. Mojan did mention this point, and I pick up on it. You need to have proper follow-up and monitoring system, because they are all tied up: laws, institutions, effectiveness, and monitoring. They're all part of the same process. You need to have very good follow-up and monitoring system in place. You need to have effective implementation and effective monitoring mechanism. You would be best placed to know where they fit in your project, right? What to monitor at what particular point in time. Next point, emergency. I think the chair mentioned this. This is an easy way out. Excuse me for my being a bit, straight talk, but we need emergency system, and it has always been the case in procurement system. for different reasons. Last year was the clearest example where government needed to act on an emergency basis. Fair enough, but emergency provisions should not be used or misused for irregular and corrupt acts. Simple. One example. You have done your emergency, fair enough. You needed that equipment or medical supplies and so on. But there are other regulations that still have to comply with. Health, sanitation, whatever. There are a series of regulations. So emergency, basically, bottom line, should not be an excuse, an easy excuse for irregular and corrupt activities.